Okay, my name is Zakashi, guys, and in this video here we're going to be going into the best ways that you can build LL Revival UI Goku. Now this guy, the build you actually apply on him very much matters, a lot more than a lot of units I've probably ever seen in Legends, to be honest, because you're going to see that people are going to be having some interesting opinions based on how you might have expected or not expected. USN's a very particular case, I will say, but we have seen it before. And for what he is, you're going to want to know how to build him the best way, teams and equipment. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button, and we're on this grind to 40,000 subscribers, very close. So if you're new here, you know what to do here. Press that red button. All my social media is going to be on the bottom of the screen. This is the YouTube channel. We've got Twitter, Twitch, Reddit, Instagram, and the Discord link all in the description below. Let's get into the video now. Okay, so one thing I'm going to get into before I actually go into anything in this video is what I like to call a fundamental of team building. What I actually like to do so I can build my team very effectively is I actually like to change this to element. The reason I do that is because you can have one of every element on your team, and that puts you in a safe position to not get color counted by anybody OP, because you'd have at least one good unit of every element on your team. Now, it's not to say that every team requires a single element of every element on their team, but if you consider every element, it's a good way to stay safe from any type disadvantage. Now, some people might build by power level, and let me explain why you shouldn't ever consider power level, because putting it foot forward, it's just an unrealistic approach to how Legends works, and I'll give you a blatant example. So you can see here we've got Ultra Gogeta Blue, right? There's no way this Trunks over here, this Goku over here, this Cell is better than Ultra Gogeta Blue just because he has a higher power level. You can see it's already very consistent because Zenkai's give units inflated stats because they've literally been upgraded, on top of the fact they have higher boost panels and whatnot. So you shouldn't actually consider power level, because it isn't a realistic representation of what they can do, the actual stats, and what comes in their kit. Unique ability, green card, blue card, blast armor, things like that, main ability. There's so many things to go through in their kit, so you should never sort by power level, always sort by element. And it's really just easy to see everybody. So you can see on your color wheel, blue, green next, purple, yellow, red. If you want a red, you go to the bottom. If you want a blue, you stay at the top. If you want green, you will know exactly where it is based on how you color count people. You know the color wheel. The other thing here, you just set Sparking Ultra, then you use the character tag and the episodes to actually sort how you want it. There's also Legend Limited, which you can actually just bring up only the Legend Limited. That will just save you a bunch of time, you know. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. So when you're building your team, it just makes it easy to find people. Once you get used to this, it will just make it way easier when you're building teams. So the first team we obviously have to touch on is USS. This is going to be his main team without a doubt. But I will say, if you were going to use this team, you must have at least 2 people on this team for sure. And those 2 people outside of Goku are definitely 17 or Master Roshi. And Master Roshi, sorry, not all. You need both of them. If you don't have both of them, your team's going to feel slightly lackluster. Maybe if you don't have Roshi, you could actually substitute him for Hit, but Roshi's ceiling is way too broken. It literally stops your enemy from using a character. They're literally man down instantly, and them being in that position is very, very detrimental to the battle, because they'd be fighting 2v3, 2v2, one or the other, whatever, or until they literally are one man left or they kill Roshi. And that is just too much to deal with. I'm not going to lie. It makes a big difference when you're only fighting with 2 man up in regards to 3. So if we look at the team, I suggest going for a very blast build. And if you're wondering who to replace 17 with, because I don't have 17, right? So for the example, I'm actually going to use Android 18 here with a tracksuit, because she's blue and she's from the same saga. So the one you'd replace would most likely be Jiren. A reason why I'm saying that is because on here with Golden Frieza, he gives 2% to blast arts damage, and having that pure through the Z ability is pretty dope. So I definitely recommend building the team blast base, especially because everybody here is pretty much range type. You can see range type. Even though Goku can be built either way, strike or blast, it already seems like USS at their core is leaning towards that direction anyways. Master Roshi, another range type, carries one of each. You can build him either way as well, but his stats are higher in the blast section. Hit, he's a melee type, of course, but I feel like he's just really the odd one out of like the main hitters. And then of course, if I go to my character selection, so my character list, I'm also going to change the filter over here, scroll to the bottom, universe rep, and then we scroll to the bottom again because I don't have him. You can see he's a range type as well. If I display his maximum stats, it's not a true representation. You can see it's slightly more. You can build him either way as well because he carries one of each. But I'd say generally speaking, in regards to their Z abilities, you should just prioritize their blast attack more than anything else. USS is quite a dope team, and I could see this team very much flourishing. This is what I would go for more than anything else, simply because it just works. 17 would be obviously one of your mains. Goku's obviously going to be your main because this is a team for him, and then the other two options you can choose from would be Hit or Master Roshi. Bergamo's here, he is actually Zenkai buffing Hit, and on top of that he's giving HP to everybody on the team, which is dope. So it just works very, very well. I definitely recommend using this team if you want to go around using USS. It's what I'd recommend if I actually go to view, so you can see the exact members. This would be like a blast orientation of the team. But of course, if you want to go for a strike build, you could as well. But really and truly, the Z abilities are more orientated that way anyways. So you should actually take advantage of that. Just notice something here, just because I'm a bit OCD. The colors, besides from the leader slot, I like having it in color. So blue, green, yellow would be next because I don't have a purple. If you wanted to use Jiren, you could, but I don't recommend it out of the other options. I just feel like he's really just good as an extra layer of endurance, but that isn't as valuable as to what you can get from Master Roshi, Hit, 17, and Goku. This video is for him, so I'm not going to exclude him. The next team I definitely have to mention is God Key. God Key's probably going to be his most run team, specifically because he is a God Key merchant. If we look at his Z abilities and actually look at how you can build him regarding that, you can see here he's got God Key there, and it's both offenses, which is dope. So you can go either or with him. I already mentioned on the USS section that you could actually build him either or. So with the God Key members, he just fits in. He can actually be triple Zenkai buff, but I wouldn't do that simply because it's more ideal to have UGB on the leader slot, considering that he only buffs Saiyans, and that way you can also Saiyans and Fusion Warrior, and that way you can also get his Ultra ability, which you wouldn't be getting if you didn't put him on the leader slot. Whereas everybody else is already a God Key member, so it just works very effectively. You double Zenkai buffing with these two God Key characters, and then you can go for a Zenkai buff with Zamasu, or you could really just force it out and have Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the LF Zenkai, as a third Zenkai buffer and just miss out on a complete Z ability for Zamasu. Or if you wanted to go the other way, you could actually take UGB off the leader slot, put Zamasu on the leader slot, so that UGB could get that Z ability as well, but he'll miss out on his Ultra ability, which is not more effective in my opinion anyways. So this would be the best build in my opinion. But if you also wanted to actually take away from this guy, so maybe if you don't want to focus on him because he's boosted right now, you might want to even, I wouldn't, you could double Zenkai buff Zamasu, or you could actually give UGB a Zenkai buff, so that everybody on the team has at least one Zenkai buff and they're all getting covered by a Zenkai layer. The God Key team actually has a lot of Zenkai buffs going around. I wouldn't recommend using anything besides from these three, really and truly. If you really wanted to, you could go double purple, but I don't see why you do that with like Rose over Zamasu. Rose is that extra layer of like security where you could just rush and then just take out their endurance really fast. But with 17, like blue card damage and everything else is going to be nerfed, so Rose wouldn't be doing that much damage anyways. So maybe Zamasu might be the safer option, but Rose can definitely take out 17's endurance, which is dope. Every other color is pretty much whack, and the only thing I'd recommend out of these units that I've already showed you is this guy here, simply because his Z ability is really dope. 22% to max base health, which is actually good for Revival Goku, and then you can also get critical, 25% critical to tag God Key, which is actually dope. So yeah, this guy's Z ability is really, really good. I definitely recommend it. Definitely recommend it if you're not going to go for the Zenkai buff option. But the Zenkai buffs are a safe bet as well. You don't have to use Vegeta, you could obviously use Beerus instead as well, just to point that out. And yeah, that would be the God Key team pretty much sorted. It just works very well, it's very smooth. Definitely recommend this team. It's a team I've already used and I'm probably going to continue using if I want Goku to just have a smooth time. Now, simply because USS is still on its way up and this Goku is just generally a safe bet because he has a revival, even though he's not the tankiest, I feel like you could just use him on any team as a leader. It just works very well. It's an extra layer for you guys. The Hybrid Saiyan team is very solid, but because he's green, I feel like the main thing that keeps him alive is the simple fact he's green. If he wasn't green, he wouldn't be as valuable in the game. And because he's green, he's able to counter the three big horses that are blue: Zamasu, 17, and Beast Gohan. But on top of the fact he can do that because of his element, he's also able to actually fit on pretty much any team because he's not restricted to any tags. So that's dope. Put him on the leader slot on this Hybrid Saiyan team just to give you an example. Everybody knows how good the Hybrid Saiyan team is. Pan will always be a good support unit, like it's for eternity at this point. Beast Gohan is, if not the best, top 2, I'd say he's 2 offensive unit in the game. So it's just gonna work well having him on top of that to protect your team in a sense. And if they rush you, say they rush your Goku, right? Let's say they rush your Goku, Beast Gohan gets endurance. Let's say your Goku gets sealed, you got Beast Gohan. If your Beast Gohan gets sealed, you got Goku and Pan. So you still have options. Having 2 offensive units is proving more valuable because of Roshi as well. So I would definitely advise to just put him on leader slot on probably your best team, and Hybrid Saiyans is just a solid go-to team that everybody uses, which is why I'm using it as an example for this leader slot section. Okay, time to get into the equipment. This is the first one I'm going to recommend. Definitely if you're using him on USS, he won't work on any other team because of the middle and third slot, where it gives you pure strike attack, strike defense and blast defense alongside some base stats for strike attack and blast attack. Given the strike attack you get at base, but the pure you would only get if you're running 3 Universe Rep members. So this is only for Universe Rep. Its condition is already only Universe Rep anyways, and how you get it, you can get it from the dual coin shop. Only place unfortunately, but don't play this. Don't do it. Damn, I can't speak. Don't do it until the Bonanza comes, which is in March, so that you can increase your odds. I'd advise definitely wait until the Bonanza comes. You don't want to just gamble because dual coins are already hard enough to get and they're jarring to get as well. If you're going for a strike build, this is another good one here. You get some base blast defense on the first slot, special move, which is the main thing, on the middle slot, and you get 35% strike attack on the third slot. This is for USS members, and how you can get this, you can get this from the Ultimate Equipment Collection. I love this equipment. I was gatekeeping it in a previous video and on stream, but this equipment here, you get pure strike attack to Saiyans, so you can get up to 15% if you're running him on a God Key team that uses 3 Saiyans. It's most effective with 3 Saiyans. It has to be 3 God Key Saiyans, so I'd say like Rose, UGB, and then it'd obviously be the Goku or something like that. It's only for God Key Saiyans anyways. You can't put it on Zamasu, but if Zamasu's on your trio, you miss out on 5% because it needs to be a Saiyan member that you have 2 others including yourself, so you get 15. You can't get it at the moment, but if you ever see an event where you can get this equipment, I definitely advise getting at least 3, maybe 6 if you want, but 3 at least, so that you could actually run a team of 3 God Key Saiyans and actually get 15% pure on a God Key team. Is actually very effective. Goes without saying, this is another must-have. You can see here the Awaken Explosive Clash. You can see here tag for Universe Rep. I'm actually gonna have to bring up the archive to actually show you where you can get this. So you can see the Awakened version actually gives you pure strike attack or blast attack on the last slot. If I go to my archive, I'm gonna have to change the filter, and if I change the episode, I believe is how I'll find it, Universe Survival Saga. You can see over here you have the unawakened version, but you're gonna need the unawakened version to actually awaken it. So the unawakened version you can get from the equipment medal shop. So you get those in the equipment medal shop, and then if you want the awakened version, which is specifically for Universe Rep, if I take this off and then put this on, you can get it from the Zenkai Ultra Space Time Rush shop, which is what the memory, where you get the memory, which is required for the awakening. This one here I think is really dope because on the first slot you kind of get to choose. You don't really get to choose because you just have to roll it. But you see when you awaken it, you can actually get strike or blast attack, the middle slot strike defense, and the third slot is what's really good, which is special move and health restoration, the most important slot out of any other slot, because this guy here has a long range blue card for his LF, no ultimate arts. How you can get this is it's the memory Zenkai Ultra Space Time Rush shot, but if you actually want the unawakened version, which you will need, so you can actually awaken it, you can actually get this from the equipment collection for God Key, and then the Z Medal shop as well. Another awakened equip that's pretty dope. You get key recovery and health restoration on the first slot, blast attack on the second slot, and strike attack on the third slot, 23% to both of those, which is actually very, very dope, right? If you go to how to get, you can get obviously the memory again from the Zenkai Ultra Space Time Rush shop, but if you're going to get the actual unawakened version, which is just for God Key, it's not as good, but it's still good, but not as good. I wouldn't recommend it. I'd say just definitely go for the awakened version if you're going for it. You can get it from the equipment medal shop. This one here is a new one, and I would actually recommend it as well. It's probably one of the doper ones, if not the dopest one. You can see here the first slot key recovery special move, second slot key recovery special move, and the third slot you can choose between strike or blast attack depending on how you re-roll it, up to 30%, which is valid as hell. The memory Zenkai Ultra Space Time Rush shop, and then if you want the unawakened version, which you're going to need, you're going to actually get it from the Z Medal shop and the equipment medal shop. So you've got 2 places for this one. This equipment here, I wouldn't advise it over anything else I've pretty much shown you. But if you want to run him a specific way, like for example, if you want to bank on the fact that you have to use his gauge, you can get your vanish recovery up and things like that, this equipment's good. And you do get 15% special move damage alongside strike defense, with a lot of characters in the meta being strike orientated, specifically for Gokus. And where you can get this, the Legends Road, the Title Medal Gold, and the Equipment Medal Shop. It's more so like a fun. I wouldn't actually push it out there in comparison to the ones I've shown, but you still do get a good middle slot. The third slot is good as well, but then no real offenses out of anything else. So you'd be banking on either Zenkai Boss or Zinobi. Sleeper, right? But this one here is pretty dope. You see this one here? It's similar to the Awakened explosive clash equipment, which is actually for USS specifically. But if you're running this guy with God Key Saiyans, right, like I mentioned earlier, this equipment would give you blast attack instead of strike. So depending on which way you want to build him, you could get pure blast from this one, and how you get this one is from the equipment medal shop. But yeah, man, hopefully this video was useful, man. That's going to bring the video to a close. Let me know whether you guys actually got him or not, if you're going to try and get him so you can actually end up building this. I don't know why you'd be watching this video if you haven't got him. Let me know how much Chrono Crystals you got left. That'll probably be a better question, given that you summoned, you're probably on 0, or maybe you just stopped because you got a copy. But yeah, hopefully the video was useful. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button, man. We're on this grind to 40,000 subscribers. All my social media is going to be in the bottom of the screen. This is the YouTube channel. We've got a Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, and a Discord link all in the description below. I'm going to leave the video like that. I appreciate you guys for watching. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.